So let me first tap into this part of boundaries. And it's very interesting because there was that conversation I had at work, and I had this conversation outside of work as well in other places. Um, Boundaries. How many of you have difficulties with boundaries? Pretty much everybody does, but we just don't want to admit it. We have boundaries with with ourselves, boundaries with our parents, with our relationships at work, right? How are you being treated? How are you receiving the treatments? How are you giving treatments? And all of those pretty much come back to one thing. It is coming to the electromagnetic field, the quantum field, right? The field which is pulsating from the core of your existence. And when I say the core of your existence, it is the compilation of your first, second, and third center. The transition between your solar plexus and your heart. So the solar plexus will determine how you are creating the atmosphere that you want to exist in. And the solar plexus has to do with your personality, with your ego mind. And at the same time, the solar plexus has to do with your divine mind, where the higher mind wants to project its light through there, which becomes the sun. So when your solar plexus and your heart center are united and they start to work into one field, because on a higher level of chakra systems, the solar plexus and the heart start to operate at a higher level in the astral body. So in the astral body and the physical body now start to work together and start to create this field that expands out. So can you imagine a golden hula hoop of energy that sprawls out from the solar plexus, which creates your boundary setting? So that golden circle of light, when the brighter it is, the stronger it is, the more naturally people will respond to you the way your higher self has desired it, which is in balance. Does that make sense? So you don't have to ask for somebody to behave a certain way or to do things a certain way towards you. They will naturally know the boundary because your vibration from the solar plexus is operating at the level of the higher self. The personality is no longer desiring, I need to be treated this way. You need to speak to me like this. You need to understand that this is my space right now. You need to respect my time. All of those things are part of the personality of the ego, desiring respect, desiring a certain dimension of experience, because the internal inner child never received it. I can feel a lot of solar plexus being shifted right now. So it is not that you need to receive certain things in a certain way or expect a respect in a certain way. It is how you are vibrating from within yourself. So if the lower chakra systems, we know, right, the root chakra, this has to do with survival, existence on this planet, on this plane of existence. How are you vibrating? Then we have the second center, relationship with yourself, with others, your inner child, your mother and your father. And then the solar plexus has to do with how you are perceiving the world. And when you perceive the world from the higher mind, then the boundaries that are coming in will respond based on the vibration that you're giving out. Let me see if I have a picture. Let's say you're got the root center here and you're standing in the center of this toroidal field. This part here, the golden part, that is the solar plexus. It is the bridge between the upper realm of your intuitive side and your physical experience in life. So if you can expand the solar plexus energy and allow it to vibrate at a higher frequency without the interference of the ego mind, but the higher mind anchoring in through the kidneys, and it expands its light through the solar plexus, balancing your future and your past. Your future is within the spleen, the past within your liver. In Taoism, we see the relationship how the liver can store anger and spleen, anxiety. So the liver, anger, it can only be stored at the past. You cannot be angry at the future because you don't know what it is. But you have anxiety about the future because you don't know what it is. But the past is a memory. So when you balance those two, future and past, into a single moment, into this current moment of here and now, that's when you find the expansion of the golden ray from the solar plexus. It is not focusing on other people. It is focusing on your vibration. It is your universe, it is your world, and you exist in it, but everybody else is just passing by. Look at it that way, right? So if everybody's just passing by, then based on your frequency vibration, those are the people you're going to be attracting. Okay, so what we need to do is focus on ourselves. So we start to focus and transform ourselves, right? Our beliefs, our perceptions, our thoughts, our reactions to everything around us. And when you start to transform those beliefs and those perceptions, that's when the light starts to expand, because what you're doing is you were born into this beautiful field, right? And it expanded. And with time, you have filled it with different beliefs inside of it, a little field of energy inside. So by clearing them, you're allowing your light to be free, and you're allowing the light to come to its natural state of existence, expanded and bright. Just like the sun and all the planets around it, right? The solar plexus becomes the main one as well. As you start to raise yourself into a higher vibration, you start to operate in different chakra systems, because each chakra system has its own belief system, has its own programming, and it has its own mind. So as you do this work through the meditative practice, through breath work, through contemplation, you'll start to realize that, okay, every day you'll feel different, right? So let's take a look at 6 months ago. Even 6 months ago, our belief systems were different. Every time that you change yourself, your light expands. Your light becomes brighter and stronger. And you no longer can go back to who you were, because you transmuted that. So those people that were able to kind of trigger you, you have overcome that, and now they cannot trigger you because you have matured mentally to perceive things from a different lens. So you're now looking down at a different vibration. Does that make sense? So it's like now you're vibrating at a higher level, and you're no longer who you used to be. So now it's time to kind of, okay, how do you transform this? Through the meditative practices, we activate the energy, right? And when that energy constantly, you sit in meditation, you're activating that energy, it starts to vibrate, it starts to rotate, it starts to naturally clear out all the beliefs, all the thoughts, and you come into this space where you feel empty, into a space where you feel an expansion. And by doing this on daily basis, and the more hours you spend in meditative state, it will naturally clear out. You won't have to need to know what it is. And the people around you will shift as well. It's just a matter of time. It's just these things don't happen overnight. It is a daily practice. It's the same thing if you start going to the gym every day. You're not going to see results right away. They start coming 6 months, a year later. It's a muscle. So you're training your energetic muscle to maintain a certain frequency vibration.